According to the Sentencing Project, Wisconsin has the highest black incarceration rate in the country, with 1 in 36 black Wisconsinites currently locked up. Ruben Ganoa knows how difficult it is for the formerly incarcerated to get back on their feet. After he was discharged from the Navy, Ganoa was arrested on a drug conviction and sentenced to 10 years. After his release, the father of 5 was told he had to settle for minimum wage jobs. He wanted more for himself and his family. 3 years ago, he started My Way Out, a nonprofit program supporting nearly 1,000 men and women in southeastern Wisconsin. Ganoa joins us now.
Thank you for having me, James.
Hey, thanks for joining us. So how did you come up with the idea for My Way Out?
Actually, it happened right after the pandemic. When the pandemic happened in 2021, after we started seeing a lot more people getting released and not having the support services they needed. So, I remember when I came home, I wanted that way out, but at the same time, I wanted someone to empower me and make me feel that there is a way out. So that's where the name came out, like, you know what, let's empower and reach the individuals, and let's ask them what is their way out. So that's how My Way Out was born, really, just providing the support services and meeting people where they're at. Instead of us telling them what to do is have them take charge. One of the things I realized when we get incarcerated, the first thing that's taken away from you is your voice, because you're told you have the right to remain silent. And often we forget that we have a voice because we get incarcerated and we don't have a say-so while we're incarcerated. So when we come out with, like, we want to empower you, now you have a voice here. Let us know how your reentry journey looks like. And then we create a personalized reentry plan.
What's the most significant needs for the formerly incarcerated?
I would say, it's funny because before the pandemic, it was employment. People were seeking employment, couldn't find employment or sustainable living wage jobs. And as soon as the pandemic happened and afterwards, we started noticing in 2022 that housing has become a real serious need and issue. People are coming out, getting released, and have nowhere to go. People don't have sometimes family members and are getting released to being homeless. So, and often, sometimes if they do have somewhere to go, they might qualify for temporary housing with Department of Corrections, but it's only up to 30 or 60 days. So housing has been one of the most important things right now. And then employment. I think employment and transportation follows right along. I think people are noticing that, if you're able to find a somewhere to lay your head and not have to worry where you're going to sleep, then how do you sustain that and how do you find that employment that's going to pay you, it's a sustainable living wage so you could afford where to live. And then transportation comes right along with it, like how do you get to appointments, to jobs. Often people still got to go see their probation officer, so they have to be able to, leave their job, go to visit the PO, then come back to the job. So all those three, I would say, has been the most effective.
What agencies do you work with to find housing and employment?
Actually, we partner with everybody. We're part of the Milwaukee Reentry Council. That's about 70 organizations that, we network. I'm real big, and when I started this nonprofit, I came in with like my military background of, in order to see true change, we have to work with the mentality of one team, one fight. So this is a problem that's affecting everybody. So let's all just work together. I'm a well-known, I started off new organization, so I know I don't have that much funding, but the little I do have, I'm able to provide. And if I need additional resources, I reach out to other organizations that might be able to provide those support services.
When you say you meet people where they are, what do you mean by that?
So when I say we meet people where they're at is if someone gets released out of the Milwaukee detention facility and they got nowhere to go, they'll call us and we'll come and pick them up and say, where do you need to go? You got to go check your PO, your probation officer. You have to go check into your THS. Let's take you. When we make appointments, often people come out with no transportation. So we're asking them, where are you staying at? Where can we meet you in a coffee shop? And we come to you. So we're able to create that personalized reentry plan and provide that support service. We're not telling them, well, you have to go over here. No, let us know what's easier for you, Let's meet you at where you at. How does this look for you? How does your journey look like? And often, people are shocked by that. They're like, oh, that I don't have to go nowhere? I'm like, no, not, we're remote, so that gives us that flexibility to go and meet people where they're at.
Measuring success, how do you do that?
That's funny. I think in the nonprofit world, we always want to set measurables to like what services we're providing and all that. I take a different approach when it comes to measuring success. To me, success is based on what the individual considers success. Often, if that individual's success is just to be able to get a bus pass to have transportation, so he's able to look for jobs, and we obtain him a bus pass, and then he gets a job. That's success right there in itself, you know. So I think how I measure success is however individual I'm working with, or we're working with, wherever they determine that their goal, they've accomplished whatever success they want to accomplish.
We got about 30 seconds left. What would you say to encourage people to hire or give a second chance to someone who's just been released?
I want them to understand that mistakes do not define who they are, you know, but what we do afterwards. We can only do something afterwards if a true opportunity is provided, you know. So that I encourage people, like, really meet people where they're at, provide that true opportunity, because our mistakes do not define who we are. It's what we do afterwards.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James, for having me.